Hello everyone, welcome back to the Apache Halloween YouTube channel, and in today's video I will be unboxing Spirit Halloween's 2021 and 2022 Barry. Alright, let's open him up. So here's his box. The first thing we see, or I see rather, is here is instructions made out of some, seems like just your generic paper. You also have his, what looks like to be his arms and hands, and his adapter is just right in here. Look at this. There's no box for the adapter, it's just inside, all ready to go. You have, so there's his arms and shoulder mount. I'm going to take out his cage now. There's his clothes. This looks to be the top of his cage. Here's the bottom of his cage. Here's his head, as you can see. Free moving jaw, and just a simple pole on the bottom, and the hair. Very creepy looking up close. Here is his legs. And feet. And then you have his all of his poles, and they feel like metal poles, but they have the texture painted onto them, which is also very nice. Oh, so it's supposed to come in the box, the power cord, but it seems like it fell out. But that's everything in the box. So now let's start with the setup. Okay, so here is the actual bottom of his cage. The actual cage is made out of plastic, while the mechanism does have metal holes, and the actual armature for his motor is all metal. But the first thing it wants us to do is take his arms, hands, and shoulder mount and just snap it on right here. The next thing that's going to want us to do is take the legs and mount it into the loop right here. Now that's in place. So what the instructions are saying is to fish his legs through the clothing like this. Do it for both sides. Okay, once you get the legs through, I want you to slide the arms through. It's dedicated sleeves on both sides. And then you Velcro the the Velcro to the hands as well to lock it in place. Like that. Now I'm going to put the head onto the pole and fish the wire through this little opening on the shoulder plate, and then snap lock it in, and then I will plug in the given plugs. And then the next thing I want you to do is take the IR sensor and fish it through the opening on the shirt and have it set in right there like that. Okay. Once the whole clothing's on, we'll Velcro the clothing to the base and then Velcro the clothing all together and close him up. But before you close him all the way, you're going to want to plug in his adapter. And then finish Velcroing his clothing all together. Now that is all set up, you're going to take your main poles labeled according to the instructions C, and these poles, in the beginning I thought they looked like metal, and they still look like metal, but they feel like plastic, but they still have the push pins in them. So I will just insert these all in place. Now it is telling me to put on the top of the cage. The next step is to take two of the poles labeled D and fish them through the hands of Barry. Okay, now you can either have this guy sitting on the ground or you can also have him hanging. Personally, I'm going to want him to be hanging. So they include these strings with hooks on the ends of them, and from what the instructions seem to tell me, it looks like what you're going to do is take the end and loop it around one of the side poles and then clip the string inside of it. Okay, so here is Barry. He's all set up and ready to go. He is, at first when I first saw him last year, I didn't really think much of him. Just thought he was a generic prop, but that's what happens when you don't see the things in stores. Because once you saw him in store, you would notice that he's a very eerie and creepy looking animatronic, and it would fit well in the experiment room for this year's haunt. So we decided to pick him up, and it's pretty detailed for what he is. I love the hands and just the overall vibe this guy gives off is really good. But without further ado, let's plug him in and see what he does. Here's Barry from Spirit Halloween. He's very effective in terms of how simple he is and for what he does. I like how his mouth is able to move to somewhat of his sounds even though there's no mouth mechanism. His mouth is just free moving, and he's very creepy looking. Plus the cage is very worn and looks like real metal even though it's only plastic. Just overall, it's a very effective animatronic. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. And remember, there's only 78 days until Halloween.